Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Monday with the Mayor. I'm Bradford Raths, and we're back in Huntingburg with Denny Spinner.
Good evening. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing very well.
So we've had some heavy rains of recent, and you've got a project in the Stellar Communities portion of your application that addresses that.
Yes, as everyone's aware of, in the last week or so, we had quite a torrential downpour, about 6 inches of rain over a 24 to 48 hour period, and like all low-lying areas, there was flooding that happened there, and one of our facilities that was directly affected by that was our street department, which is located on East First Street down by the city park. It's located in a floodplain, and because of the amount of rain that we did get, there was flooding experienced at the street department. In fact, we had to move our cleanup day that weekend because of that flooding. We have a plan to try to solve that, and it actually is involved in our Stellar application. It involves the relocation of the street department out of the floodplain. And how this project really started was our street superintendent, our planning commissioner, were at a meeting with folks from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and also Indiana Homeland Security, and we're speaking about this problem and became aware that funds could be available for mitigation, for relocation of the facility into a safer area. And as we started looking at that, we thought about if we're going to do this, what kind of facility would we want to really make it? So as part of the Stellar program, we'll be applying, was one of our projects, to not only relocate the street department out of the floodplain, and it will be relocated in somewhere in the industrial park area. We don't have an exact location yet, but included in that building, we'd want to address the needs of, also along with the storm, is a safety area for our community. Included in that building would be a safe area where people could come during storms. It's a concern that we have that there's no really one location that people can get to. I think most people have a plan, their own personal plan, but we would want to have some place where people could go to be safe during inclement weather. Locating it near the industrial park would help in the daytime hours, particularly the large workforce that's in that area during that time. That would give them a safe location, but also would be located somewhat near the residential areas on the north side and would be easily accessed from all the community. Also included in that would be a training facility. We talked with our local emergency management people and said, what if you could have a wish list of things, what would you like to see some of the facility used for? We're planning to design in that a training facility for emergency management people, firefighters, first responders. A lot of our training for Du Bois County folks goes out of the area now, so a facility like that would enable those folks to stay home to do that training. And also we would put in the infrastructure in place to have this location be a secondary location for an emergency response communications center. Should one of our centers in Jasper have a situation where they cannot operate because of the storm, it would provide a second location for emergency management communication. So we see this as a big plus, not only for Huntingburg, but for the county as well. And this is an exciting project. We're still very, very much at the first phases of this and the planning of this. It's been a project that has been approved by our redevelopment commission. And so if the Stellar designation comes along, this would be a project that we could see move forward in the next 2 to 3 years. So it would solve a lot of little issues for us and provide a great public facility for our community.
So moving now from flooding to baseball, we're heading into spring now. Improvements to League Stadium, you had several of those.
Right. The League Stadium is back in operation as the high school baseball season is underway. But and we certainly are proud to have the Raiders taking the field at League Stadium during the baseball season, and looking forward to the IHSAA sectional this year. But also, the Bomber season will be following that in June and July, and will be another great season of Du Bois County Bomber baseball. And what the most noticeable improvement folks will see at League Stadium this year is the wall along the front edge of the grandstands has been replaced. The structure is now over 20 years old from when it was built by Columbia Pictures for the movie A League of Their Own, and that whole wall needed some attention. So that wall has been replaced with a poured concrete style wall, but they've also been able to, when they did this, used forms to make it look like a brick wall, including some brick dust to make it look like a brick wall, and the League Stadium logo is in the backstop now. So it's a very much improvement. They've lowered the dugouts a little bit, so the viewing lines for the fans behind the dugouts are improved, and this whole new wall gives it a new look, but it maintains the integrity of the old style looking baseball field as well. And really, the funds from this were a direct result of the success of the Bombers last year. The part of our situation with the Bombers is that the city receives a percentage of the ticket funds that are sold by the Bombers. That fund, in turn, goes right back into the stadium for improvements such as this. So basically, the improvements of those from this year are a direct result of the great response of the fans from last year, and hopefully this begin a cycle that we continue to draw more fans, continue to keep the stadium in great shape, and just a win-win situation for us. So I think the fans will enjoy the improvements that have been made this year.
I'll have to make it out there for a game, certainly.
More than one, I'm sure.
Right. So finally here, it's been a busy month in Huntingburg, and that's set to continue. We just had the Jazz Fest, and now we're going to switch over to cars.
Right. The annual Huntingburg Kiwanis Car Show will be this coming Saturday on downtown on 4th Street. The Wine and Jazz Festival was the week before. We had the Daffodil Stroll the week before that, so we just keep things going in downtown. But the Kiwanis do a great job of having an annual car show. I believe this is their 16th show. It'll be on Saturday. And if the weather cooperates, that we always have a great, the car enthusiasts are very particular about their vehicles. Should the weather cooperate, usually we'll have enough vehicles to pretty well fill 4th Street, 3-block area. They'll be out there, and we just want to encourage everyone to come on down and see the cars, and also a chance to walk up and down the street and visit our vendors and visit the merchants as well. And just another thing that brings our community together and has an opportunity to get out and enjoy this spring weather.
Yeah, the spring weather is pretty enjoyable right now. Mayor, we appreciate your time as always.
No problem. Thank you.
This has been this week's edition of Monday with the Mayor. We'll be back with more news right after this.